live stream?
Live streaming is on.
God, this is working so slowly today. All right, it says we're live on the YouTube side.
Yeah, just got the notification on my side.
Yep. All right, so we are live. If anybody is out there, but I don't know if anybody is out there right now. But welcome to This Week Unloaded. If you are, somebody's out there now. Woohoo! All right, we got somebody out there. I don't know who, but somebody. So thank you for watching. Okay, yeah, my brain is not fully functional tonight, so you have to excuse me if I act like a dumbass at some point in time. But hey, Buck, you should have a link, man. Hell, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, welcome to This Week Unloaded. This is number 91. We can call this the Rich is Fucked Up, even though he's not on anything show. Tonight we have with us first Jason Stewart. How are you tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm doing well, Rich. Thanks for the invite. Hello, everyone.
And then next we had Pat Hirsch. How are you tonight, Pat?
Oh, doing pretty good. It finally cooled off a little bit here in Nebraska, and the humidity's gone, and just got the grill fired up and just enjoying the evening.
Cool. And then finally, to this point, we have Kingpin. How are you tonight?
Not too bad, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think my problem is a lack of sleep is starting to wear on me. My brain is like, it's going to sleep without the rest of me going to sleep at this point. So. Anyway, Pat, you said before the show that you had a story you wanted to tell us.
Yeah. Just got done talking to New York Outcast here, actually on the phone, not on an actual landline. Holy crap! Look out. This happened, and I'll kind of set it up. This might be a couple minutes, so everybody just kind of hang on a little bit here, if everybody can hear me okay. About a month ago, and I just wanted to bounce this off the panel just to see what everybody thought. And trust me, I'm open to criticism and everything, so say what you want to say, don't hold back. So now that I can legally talk about it, about a month ago, would have been on a Sunday. I was just getting done with work, and my wife calls me up, just getting out of the tractor for moving bales, stacking stuff up. And she goes, "There's this really weird guy here that looks like he's tweaking." And mind you, I'll set this up a little bit better. I live out in the sticks in the middle of nowhere, probably from the biggest town that's 1,200, about 8 miles away. And the next biggest town is only like, probably about 35,000 people. So anyway, she tells me there's this really weird guy out here, said that he built my house and he's looking for Joe or Pat, which would be my brother Joe. And she goes, "I swear this guy's on something." And I was like, okay. Anyway, about 5 seconds later, after she's still on the phone with me, she said, my 10-year-old daughter in the background says, "He's hitting the blazer." And it takes a second for my brain to kind of hook on to this, because I was like, what? I have a 1976 Chevy Blazer that's lifted and got the winch and everything on front of it. She's a little bit of a rock crawler, mutter, kind of whatever, what have you. He is taking this little 90s Ford Ranger and going from the gravel road, which is probably about 30 yards long, all the way to the front end of my Blazer, and smashes into it 3 times.
Wait,
he's smashing the rear end of his truck.
He's got a little Ford Ranger.
Yep.
You've got a big Ford Blazer, the old style Blazer, which is like a
Chevy Blazer. Yep, 1976.
Like 3 feet, you know.
Yep, full iron.
And you got a lift kit on this thing.
Yep.
So you probably got what, 26-inch wheels on that? 26-inch tires, something along those lines.
I have 36s on it.
36s, okay. But and
with a 4-inch lift.
Take that little itty bitty Ford Ranger and hit that Blazer. Repeat
3
it.
times. He went forward and back 3 times.
Yep, he was
30-yard shots.
Yeah, he was on something. All right, sorry.
Yeah,
I wanted to clarify.
That's why I said this is kind of a wild story. this is a wild story.
Yeah,
No.
I wanted to make sure I heard you right. Okay, go.
Yep. Anyway, about the time that my oldest daughter says that, and the wife says, "You need to get home now." You know, and I can tell the panic in her voice and everything. So I get in my work truck, pin it, and I'm only a mile away from where I'm at back to the house. And I'm still on the phone with her, and she goes, "Well, he's gone now. He smacked your Blazer 3 times." And I said, "That dirty son of a bitch." If she didn't know who it was, I didn't know who it was at that time. Anyway, I get close to my house, ease it up. I see the peel-out marks coming out of my driveway. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to track this SOB. Track him back to the river bridge, which is only about 300 yards away from my house, going back towards the north. And I look over the bridge railing, and we have a little entrance down there to the bridge where everybody can go in with kayaks and canoes and tube and, you know, all that stuff. And there is this deranged guy chucking stuff out of the back end of his truck into a buddy's truck of mine with a 84 Blazer with the top off of it, just chucking stuff left and right, just looking like a freaking madman. So I go down to the landing. About the time I turn off to that little landing right there, he jumps back in the pickup. I pull up beside him. I'm trying to get plate numbers off the front end of this pickup. The front plate is gone. And I said, "Are you the blankety blank that was running into my truck?" And by that time, he's already back in the pickup. He started it up, stared at me, didn't say a word, and then peeled off through the alfalfa field that was right beside there. Got back up on the gravel road. I told my wife, I said, okay, I'm going to get a plate number. And I said, I got to chase this guy down just to get a plate number because I said front wasn't on it. So anyway, I chase him down and he's hauling ass. I'm hauling ass. So I got to get pretty close to him to get a plate number because the dust and the dirt and everything's flying from the gravel road. And I'm on the phone with the sheriff's department. And I told them right up front, I said, I'm chasing this vehicle. He's done this. He's done that. I said, I'm just trying to get a plate number. I have a gun in the vehicle with me. And I said, if he does anything stupid, I said, I will defend myself. And I said that right up front. About the time that I caught up to him, read the plate number, he lands on the brakes. I land on the brakes. He sits there for a second, and I'm still on the phone with the sheriff's department. And I said, I don't know what he's going to do, but I said, you need to get somebody out here because he's acting really freaking, I said, he's acting like a freaking psycho. I think it was actually what was my actual words were. About that time, the one good light that was working, the backup light on his taillights, came on. So I threw mine into reverse. And we were both going backwards at pretty good rate of speed. And he rams into the front end of my pickup with the rear end of his pickup. We're both going backwards. And I was like,
what kind of pickup do you have?
2004 Nissan Xterra.
Okay.
So I've got a little bit more pony than that little 4-cylinder. But he had the jump on me.
Yeah, and those Xterras are made for off-road. So
Yep.
Probably a little tougher body-wise and stuff, too.
Yeah, and I'll give you a little background on me. I used to race dirt track, and I used to race pavement on rallycross and just all sorts of different kind of pavement circuits and dirt track circuits. So anyway, he hits me in the front just a little bit, just enough to crack the bumper cover and rearrange my license plate. And I told the sheriff, I said, well, he hit me. I said, I got to put the phone down because I'm going to have to do a really nasty turn here really quick. Anyway, that little Ford Ranger, about the time he tapped me in the front, he ran out of steam. I was still going backwards, pretty good clip, about 60 miles per hour by the time, and I see his brake lights on the one side light up anyway. The other side was completely destroyed. And so I do a 180-degree bootleg turn, which for those of you guys that don't know what that is, I'll explain it a little bit. It's when you're going backwards really, really fast, you kick it into neutral, you spin the steering wheel as quick as you can, and when you're halfway around, you throw it back into drive, replant the foot feet, and you barely lose any speed.
Yep, it's a fancy turn you always see in the movies and TV shows. That the stuntmen
Yes.
go in one direction in reverse, whoop, and go.
Yep.
forward.
And I can do that very well because I've had I've had a lot of fun through the years. I'll put it that way. And anyway, he turns around too, but I've already got a pretty good distance on him. And I go back across the river bridge. I'm going back towards the south. I head over 2 hills, and it's pinned to the floor. And I pick up the phone, talking back to the sheriff again, to dispatch. And I said, well, I said, he was chasing me. I said, he's not now. So I duck into my cousin's cornfield, bury my truck up in there, just waiting for him to come by. But he never shows up. And I said, okay, well, he must have given up pretty quick. So I creep out of the cornfield because I want to be able to tell dispatch which way he's going. And I said, I'm not going to engage the guy, but I said, if he comes back at me, I said, I will use deadly force. Anyway, get back over the next 2 hills, back down to the river bridge, going back north. And he's headed towards the little town that's just a mile away from me. He pulls back out onto the highway, and he's headed east back towards Red Cloud, where the actual sheriff's department's at. And I said, I've already told you, I said, I'm not going to follow this guy anymore. I said, I already got you guys the plates. And I said, he's headed east. I said, he's headed right back towards you. And even though I only live about 7 miles as far as the crow flies, it still took 8 to 9 minutes to get somebody dispatched out on a Sunday to intercept him. They intercepted him halfway between Innavale and Red Cloud, which is 7 miles. And he winds up going all the way back to Red Cloud, pinned to the floor. He burns the truck up, goes towards the airport, and it bursts into flames. And then they finally catch his ass. Right there. So I just wanted to run it through the panel on whether what I did was right, or I'm just trying to get opinions on this scenario. So,
Okay. First question: did they ever determine what the hell the asshole was on?
he was on methamphetamines because now a week later, and this is just this last week, he'd got a divorce, burned his car to the ground in Missouri, and it was a person that I knew. He actually built the basement of my house.
Good Lord.
And I knew this guy personally because I went to his wedding, and he had always been a really good guy. Always been a really good guy, hard worker, just, doing what he needed to do. But, man, somewhere along the lines when he went down to Missouri, he got fucking screwed up. I mean, fucking bad. And then he stole a truck here last week, pawned a gun, which I'm not exactly sure how the hell he pawned it for fuel money and everything from a local farmer just a couple miles away from here, and made it all the way back down to Joplin, Missouri to his ex-wife's house. And that's when they finally figured out, oh, wait a minute, why don't we just kill the frickin' truck? They killed the truck, and State Patrol down there in Missouri picked his ass up. And so, yeah, he's going away for quite a while. So if anybody's got any questions or anything, just feel free to shoot them at me.
Yeah, methamphetamines are a crazy drug, folks. Yeah. Oh, man, Nighthawk Medic says don't chase crazy. I think that's true. But, yeah, as long as you weren't actually confronting him, if you were just trying to get the plate number and letting the law enforcement know what was going on, and you walk away from it, you're not doing anything wrong, really. So if you would have tried knocking him off the road playing law enforcement yourself, then you would have a different situation. But as long as all you were doing was getting the plate number, you were fine.
Yeah, and that's all I was trying to do. I was just trying to get close enough to get the plate number, and about the time that I got it rang out to the dispatch, that's when he locked up the brakes. So, and that's when it kind of turned into a cluster after that a little bit. But, I wasn't going to try to shoot at him unless he physically disabled my vehicle or chased me so long, or, something was going to have to escalate way more than what it was before I actually did something. But, I just made my intentions clear to the sheriff's department, to dispatch, that, that I had a gun, and I said, if I have to, I will use it. So anyway, that's the story. So if anybody's got any questions or anything, just go ahead and shoot them towards me.
I'll say I don't know if I would have chased, but I understand that you did. I saw a hit and run accident one night, and I chased down the car that did it and called the sheriff to when they finally stopped. And we got into a little high speed run, but when it was all said and done, the sheriffs told me don't ever do that again. If you don't have a plate, then I guess all you got's a car description. But in that situation I was in, they told me if they would have wrecked because I was chasing them, they would have blamed it on me.
From what Pat was saying in this situation, this guy was already driving erratically before he even started going after him. So, you got to know your state laws too.
I'm glad, Pat, that your family's okay and you're okay.
Yeah, the only thing I was after was a plate number, and especially since we were on a dirt road, that's the only reason I had to get halfway close to him, just because all the dirt and the dust and everything. And like I said, about the time that I got it read out, that's about the time he stomped on his brakes. So, yeah, I can see it both ways, and I didn't want to engage. I just wanted to get close enough, and, I know all the county sheriffs and everything around here, so that's kind of why I felt comfortable doing it. And, I've drove high enough speed on gravel roads, dirt roads, and everything else that I felt comfortable. That was my last option, was to actually engage with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was going to say, some states it's perfectly okay to do that. Some states may frown on it. Jason may be in one of those states that frowns on it. But if you guys remember the case back in Georgia when those guys were following that guy they were talking to the cops on, and they ended up shooting the guy because the guy tried reaching for the shotgun. Georgia, you're allowed to do it. You're allowed to follow people and report to the police what they're doing. Again, Ohio, that may not be the case. So just make sure you know your laws if you're going to do anything like that. It's, with anything else, make sure you know your laws before you go doing something. But I can see why you did it, Pat, and you know, what did the sheriff's department have to say to you on how you handled it?
Well, when they came out about, it was about hour and a half later, after they had him in custody and everything. Like I said, I know most of the guys there. They know me, and they knew I wasn't going to engage unless I absolutely had to. So, but they said, no, you did everything right. I mean, and it's a small community out here, so which is kind of nice, you know, because they know, like I said, I wasn't going to try to do anything stupid. I just wanted to get a plate. So I didn't get an ass chewing from anybody. Everybody said I did everything right. So, but then again, it is Nebraska.
Yeah, no, did they find any weapons or anything on the guy in the car when they arrested, or the truck when they arrested him?
Yeah, they found some controlled substances, which, yeah, later on I found out was meth. And they didn't find any handguns or anything like that, but, you know, he had some baseball bats and crowbars and, you know, typical stuff that you would find in probably your typical farm truck around here that could be used as a weapon pretty easily, I guess. But as far as any firearms, no. So that's, like I said, I mean, that was going to be my last resort. If he'd somehow disabled my vehicle and I had to get out and fight, then yeah. I mean, that's the way I probably would have done it, because there was actually two guys, and I forgot to mention this earlier, but there was two guys in the truck. The one guy never did anything, but it was the other guy that actually helped build my house at the time after it burnt down was, yeah, he was the one that was instigating everything, and yeah, pretty much higher than a kite or the space shuttle.
Yeah, that's definitely a crazy situation. Man, that's almost as bad as when we were living in trailer court in town at the old place. It wasn't a low trashy kind of trailer court. I mean, it was good people, but then when the people that bought it from the previous owner died and his wife sold it, and they started renting it just about anybody. But we had this crazy guy that lived a couple trailers up from us. One day we hear pow, 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 pow. Go outside and look. That stupid son of a bitch is shooting his own car with a 22.
Yikes. What the hell was he on?
Probably meth. Be my guess. I'm like, yeah, as long as you're not shooting at me, you want to shoot at your car, you go right ahead, you dumb fuck. Oh, man. Yeah. That was an interesting encounter right there. You know, it's like, I don't know why you decided you want to go and shoot your car, but you go right ahead. That one part of West Virginia there, Pickle. Yeah, somebody else went and called the cops, and the sheriffs came and they arrested the guy. I don't know whatever came of it. You know, we were moving out shortly after that anyway, so I did find out what happened to the guy. But yeah, the crazy nut was out there shooting his own car.
Yeah, definitely on something. That's for sure.
Patriot-esque, yeah, but what did the car do to him first? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe the car was a Decepticon. You know, he made a joke to somebody, they laughed, the person laughed, the car laughed, he shot the car, you know.
Autobots assemble.
Haven't you ever seen the meme? my girlfriend, insert girlfriend or wife, asked me why I carry a gun in the house. I said Decepticon. She said Decepticon. So yeah. She laughed. I laughed. The toaster laughed. I shot the toaster. It was a good day.
That's pretty good. But anyway, I just wanted to share that story with you guys. Just even the craziness can even reach clear out here in the little Podunk, Nebraska.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, crazy doesn't have borders, man. Crazy does not have borders.
Well, I'll definitely agree with you on that.
Uplift Mofo Party Plan says maybe the car was a Chrysler. No, it wasn't a Chrysler. It was a Ford.
Ah, dude, movie Christine.
Well, that was a Plymouth, but Plymouth technically was a Chrysler. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it was Plymouth Fury.
Yeah. Wasn't that the same thing as what the original Batmobile, or not the original Batmobile, but the one from the Adam West Batman was too? Wasn't that based on the Fury?
Yeah, some of it was. Yeah. Because wasn't it in Christine? Wasn't that a 62 or 63?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember.
It was early to mid 60s on the Fury. My grandpa had one, so
I thought it was like a 58. A 58.
Oh, was it?
Pretty sure.
Oh, I'll have to go look that up.
58, 59. It's when they had the big fins still on the back.
Well, you had some of the cars in the 60s still had some of the big fins too. Let's find out if I can remember how to spell Plymouth.
It's almost spelled plywood.
It's like Plymouth.
Yeah, I know. I was joking. It would help if I put in then I'm looking for the one from Christine, right? If I can remember. Now I can't remember. God, my brain really is starting to shut down. I can't even spell Christine at this point. There was a 58 Plymouth Fury.
Oh, Kingpin with the strike.
And another site says it was a 57. So it was either a 58 or a 57. God damn. No, there's two that say it was a 58. And another one says it was 58. So we'll go with 58 since I'm finding more websites saying it's a 58.
Yeah, I'd always thought that it was a 58.
Yep. So there you go. It was a 1958 Plymouth Fury. That's what Christine was. And we're all over the place tonight. We're talking about people doing silly things while on meth, and the guy going out shooting his own car. Now we're talking about Christine because they're trying to figure out if the car was Christine.
I think
I wonder what
was on meth.
That's pretty good. I wonder what the motor options were back in ¡58 for that. I wonder if they had that great
Yeah,
big.
Don waited till I closed everything to ask that question.
Had a 392 Hemi, didn't it?
That have the red Ram in it.
I doubt in 58 they had that.
A 352 Hemi. I think that's what it was. Yeah, 352 Hemi.
Dags, wasn't it like a? Didn't they call that like the red Ram or something? Or the block and everything was all painted up red and on it, something like that.
Yeah, red with like a yellow stripe is the one that got pictured here. There's one with like a silver stripe.
Well, I know back then it was either late 50s or early 60s. They had that really funky manifold on top that had 2 4-barrels that went like clear over the top of the
Yeah.
valve covers,
Yep.
opposing each other.
Yeah. Here it says that the 56, the first model, had a 303 with 240 horsepower at 4,800 RPM. That's what was in the original 56. So I can find the 57. Okay, it doesn't say what was in the 57. The Christine, they put the one in Christine had a 350 in it. But not a GM 350. They specifically make sure you understand it was not the GM version. So the Christine Fury was a 350 V8.
I was going to say putting a 350 Chevy in a Chrysler is probably blasphemy back then.
Well, I don't even know if there was a 350 Chevrolet at that point.
Would have been the 348.
In 59, you had a 361.
283 was the big boy for a small block in 1958.
Yeah. That's what the Bel Air had with fuel injection. And Corvettes had it too.
I was just talking about the time of the shooting of the movie. They would have had the 350 then.
Yeah.
But
in 1960, you would have a 318 or a 383, along with a 261. Or a slant 6, but doesn't give the cubic inches on the slant 6. 51, you got a 375 horsepower, 413 added to the lineup. Zero to 60 on the 62 was 8.5 seconds. Jesus Christ. That was a heavy car, man.
yeah, that was probably weighing what, 4,300 pounds?
Yeah, most likely.
2 tons of fun?
Yeah, cars were a lot heavier back then than what they are now. Hell, at one point they had a 426 wedge with 415 or 425 horsepower, depending on the compression ratio.
Yeah, but their horsepower rating was different than now. If it was nowadays, that would be a 4,400 pound car and a 250 horsepower engine.
Well, and back then they used to fudge quite a bit on the horsepower, especially when they got into the muscle wars. So that way the insurance companies and stuff wouldn't completely rake you over the coals on a huge motor.
And 65, they became a full size. They weren't the little car anymore. They became a full size sedan. And it started to become the family car.
Yeah, because I know back in the day, what was it? 65 through 72, I know a lot when they were really getting into those muscle wars. Especially on the Chevrolet side, they would fudge the numbers pretty bad.
That started before that. Shit, 70
No, I'm talking clear back in 65, from
Oh.
65 to 72 when they
Okay, yeah.
really started coming out with the big block stuff. When the big block stuff really started coming out, they started fudging on numbers. Because, insurance.
Yeah, the family car version of the Fury did have a 440 in it. So that's something, I guess. And you had the cop car versions of it too.
Must have been the 4-door version.
Yep.
Old grocery getter with the 440.
Super Commando 440 with a 4-barrel carburetor on it. They got a picture of one of the old police cars here. 67.
My grandpa had an old 69 or 70 Plymouth Fury 4-door, and it was so big that it wouldn't fit in the garage. The trunk part stuck out, and you couldn't shut the garage door in the winter.
Yeah, they got really big towards the end of their run. They started out, they were fairly small, but they're Thunderbird size when they first started, and then they just got exponentially bigger.
Yeah, they needed a big car. They used it to haul a pretty good sized camper. The campers back in the day, they were all steel. They weren't like the lightweight aluminum now. Mm-hmm. So instead of having a truck, you needed a big car to pull a camper.
Yeah, in 71, they had 3 different 440s in the 71. Or you can get there were 2 different 383s, 3 different 440s, a 360, a 318, and a 225 available. That was in 71.
Oh, that's okay. Now I remember the intake that went corner to corner. It was called the Cross Ram intake.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that the freaking intake was still made out of cast when they did that. It weighed about as much as the friggin' heads.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Ram Air on the Trans Ams. Only the Ram Air was a little on the lighter side.
Yeah, I think on the Pontiacs, I think they were made out of aluminum. I think.
Yeah, they were aluminum, but they worked on the same basic principle. Forcing air into the carb.
What's going on in here?
Hey, what's going on in New York?
How's it going?
Anyway, there's your lesson on the Plymouth Fury for today, folks. How did we get talking on the Fury anyway? Oh, somebody out there mentioned Christine, and off we were to the races talking about the Plymouth Fury. You never know where we're going to go on this show, folks.
Just to be clear, I do not endorse the purchase of Chrysler products.
Oh, some of them weren't bad. If it wasn't for my asshole father, I'd have a 69 Plymouth Roadrunner.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet cars.
Yeah. Meaning horn and everything, yeah.
I had a 71 Satellite. I liked it pretty well.
Yeah, right before I turned 16, when the car was supposed to be signed over to me, my father sold the damn son of a bitch. That mother. Oh, one time I wanted to shoot somebody.
I had a 71 Satellite, had a 318 in it, and it had the sport package with bucket seats and a floor shifter, and I traded it for a car stereo.
Oh, really?
JVC cassette deck, man, auto reverse, was worth more than the car.
Kids.
Yeah.
No, I had a 77 Monte Carlo with the swing out seats in it, and didn't have a stereo. And I found a friend that had a radio. We traded.
Still call him a friend?
Those was common deals back in the day, man.
Man, that was highway robbery.
Yeah.
Was the car completely shot or what?
No, but back in the day when that happened, I think I bought that satellite for $250. Now you could buy $100 car that ran. You could buy a $250 car that wasn't bad. You get a $400 or $500 car. It was nice. You could go out of town and travel. And like I've always told people, $1,000 car, a $1,200 car, that's a car sitting on a car lot that's got a brand new paint job and maybe brand new Krager wheels on it. I mean, we could pick up cars around here for nothing. If you wanted an old beater or junker, you could find cars less than $100.
Oh yeah, back in the day, cars were nowhere near as expensive as what they are now even for a used one. I mean, used cars back, God, when I was in school, you would see a used car that was only a couple of years old sitting on a lot for $1,500.
I would buy a car and drive it till the 30-day tags went out and get another car. And I did that so much that if I titled one more car in my name, that was it. I couldn't do any more without a dealer's license.
My friends and I were kind of known to pick up beaters in the winter, like $300 to $500 car if you can, and then we'd play tag with them in store parking lots at night, amongst other things. But it was always a blast.
Yeah, we kind of had a version of that out here too.
No, Ohio 45.
That was always fun.
Ohio 45 ACP's got us all beat. He had a 68 VW Bug with 53 horsepower and a 4 on the floor.
Yes, sir. A slug bug.
Yeah,
Ooh, really cooking there.
you know what would be interesting? A drag race between that and a mid-70s Pinto. The winner was whoever finished last.
Out in the country, you'll find 4-door cars stuck on their bumpers, all types of stuff. People drive them on 4-wheeler trails, and crazy stuff kids do sometimes.
Yeah, a friend of mine had a Pinto station wagon. We were going from Pittsburgh to Monroeville, which is, you got Interstate 365, and you get to Monroeville. We were going that to see a movie because I had one movie tickets off the one radio station. So there's 5 of us in this car. How we got 5 of us into a Ford Pinto station wagon, I couldn't tell you. We hit 60 once. We were going downhill. We had people behind us honking their horn when we were going up the one hill. That car had no power whatsoever.
Yeah, probably had the little straight 4 in it, probably.
Yeah, if you didn't have a whole lot of people in the car, when it was just usually like him and one other person, yeah, we did all right. But if we had 5 people in the car and that was just too much weight, the car wasn't going anywhere fast.
You must have had the timing wrong, man, because I could take anything 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, V8, and I can get it to where I could just run the shit out of it.
Yeah, you got to drive them like you stole them. It comes down to 4 cylinders.
Yeah, the Pintos were not good on power, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know. I know what engine they had in them. They were pretty sad.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's dad was a mechanic and a machinist. I mean, he got it going about as good as you could get it with the engine that was in it. They bought it to do as a project car. They were going to put a bigger engine in and stuff, but it never got done. I don't know whatever happened to that car.
Did they take it in for the recall or change the gas tank straps?
This would have been in the early 90s, so if they were taking it for the recall that at that time, it was a little on the late side. But yeah, Pickle said he had a 71 Super Beetle with 60 horsepower and 4 on the floor. He said that was in 2008. He said, yeah, those Beetles, man, if you took care of them, they would keep running. The problem was they were, that engine wasn't the greatest in the world, but as far as power, but they would run. You could beat the hell out of them in those engines, and they would still run. DM Faust out there, Mr. Secret Agent Mouse said he had a 67 Beetle. He traded it for a 69 Dart. Dude, you should be arrested for robbery. You just held up somebody stagecoach with a shotgun with that deal. Good Lord. I just want to know, was the guy you made that trade with drunk? How the hell did you sucker the guy into trading your 67 Bug for a 69 Dart? I mean, those 69 Darts, man, you put a good engine in those things will run. God damn. That's just crazy. Yeah, 45 ACP says, yeah, he held him at gunpoint.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then Faust says the guy was a hippie. And that explains it. The hippies love those VWs, the Bugs or the vans, the minibuses. Yep.
All the minibuses are cool, man. Especially ones that are all either original or restored. Those are pretty cool little vehicles.
What's cooler, the minibus or the minibus pickup truck? If you remember those.
No, you want the minibus with the camper top that pops up extra, or has the extra windows up there. Yeah, the number of windows on those, what makes it valuable.
I saw somebody who had one of the minibus pickup trucks with a V8 in the bed of the pickup. They would drag race it. That thing was fast. What the hell did they have in the back of that thing? I'm trying to remember now. I think it was a 460, I want to say. Anyway, that thing would fly. Yeah, blown big block V8 in the bed. God, that was years ago. So I'm trying to remember. That's why I can't remember for sure if it was a 460 or not. But damn, man, that thing. And it would lift the front wheels every time you would floor it. The front wheels would come up. It wasn't street legal. That's for darn sure. You had to have wheelie bars on it because we didn't. The damn thing would probably tip over. Man, it was crazy watching them run that thing down the strip. The whole time he's doing a run, the front wheels are on the ground. The thing just lifted the wheels up and this just kept going. Pickle said he met a guy with a blown 460 in a Morris Mini sedan.
Morris Minor.
Yeah, Minor. I can't read. I told you, man, my brain is like half asleep right now. Told you that at the very top of the show.
It's a Rick Mitchell car.
Yeah. Saw somebody once had a blown V6 in a goddamn Mini Cooper.
Hey, Gizzard's here. We can get started.
Mini Coopers are funny as hell with the engine sticking out of the hood. Have you ever seen that? That looks so damn funny.
I think that movie, The Italian Job, really got the sales going in the U.S.
Oh man, those Mini Coopers are cool little cars. They really are. They were used for rally racing and stuff long before the Italian Job came out. But yeah, that did the original Italian Job back in the late 60s, early 70s. Anyway, that they started selling them back then. So you could find the old Mini Coopers, and then when they did the remake, it didn't hurt to sell the new ones. Those are cool little cars.
I'd like to try one out. Never have. But yeah, basically just due to the movie.
Yeah, the new ones, if I remember right, they're owned by BMW now, so I think they got like more luxury than sport like the old ones had. The old ones that were like sportier than what the newer ones are.
I know they're somewhat quick, or at least with aftermarket parts are quick. So there's a guy here that goes to the college that has a pretty nice one done up. And whenever I'm driving my Civic, he always tries to line up with me. But I always turn before the stretch that you could do something if you were an idiot.
But
he punches it, and man, he moves out pretty quick. So I know it's turboed up.
Oh yeah, but that's not what I meant by sportier. By sportier, I meant features, like air conditioning and stuff. That's more a luxury style now. The older ones, they didn't have like air conditioning and stuff in them usually. Because it added weight to the car. The cars were just light, so you didn't have like air conditioning and stuff like that in them. Where the newer ones, you have like air conditioning, GPS, and all that more luxury kind of stuff compared to like what the old ones had.
Yeah, I get it now. Referring back to the Punch Bug, kind of the same thing with those. I've seen those, the turbo models, and they move pretty quick. So.
Oh yeah. And those were tough little cars, man. I mean, that's why they used them for rally races. They would pull the stock engines and put a bigger engine in the back and leave the engine cover off. And you'd have the engine sticking out the back of it, because why bother having the exhaust and everything would just come right off the car. And those things would just run through the deserts and stuff, like in Southern California and Northern Mexico. That's why Herbie was a VW. Remember the Love Bug, Herbie the Love Bug? He was a VW because he was a rally race car. Pickle says that Morris Minor sedan was a engine with a car attached. Yeah, I can see that. That's a pretty darn good description of that situation. That'll be like putting a V8 in a Mazda Miata, for crying out loud.
I'd like to drive it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, D-Temp says a Bug with a Porsche motor was a lot of fun. Well, technically, if you want to get really super technical, wouldn't every VW already have a Porsche motor in it, since VW motor was the original cars were designed by Porsche?
I'd agree with that.
Correct, yes.
And you can state the Subaru with the Boxer engine nowadays, which is notorious for the oil leaks nobody deals with because nobody wants to pull the engine.
By the way, which Porsche engine is he talking about? Is he talking about the Boxer, the 911? Or the V8 out of the 927? I don't know if you can fit the V8 from the 927 in the back of a Bug, though. Not without some major work. You could probably fit the Boxer from the 1911, yeah. The 911, the 911 Turbo Boxer in the back of a VW Bug, yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he says a 911 engine.
Yeah, that would be an interesting proposition in one of those VWs, that's for sure. No replacement for displacement. I don't know about that.
Well, that essentially is what a blower does.
Yeah.
It is displacement. It adds more air than what would have been normally available to that engine. So you can take like the liters of the blower and add it to the cubic inch of the engine and kind of get a rough idea of what it would have been normally aspirated.
Yeah. But the way he's saying it is in different relation. He's saying blowing is better than sprayed, but there is no replacement for displacement. So I think he's just talking pure cubic inches. And again, I don't know about that.
Size matters.
So big engines with big turbos.
You get look at the why the 86 Grand National or the 87 Grand National was the last one with the 3.8 turbo, don't you? Because it was faster than the Corvette, and Chevy got pissed, reported Buick to the head of the head organization, and they told Buick they had to stop making it because that was at GM. That was a major no-no. That you could not have a car that was faster than the Corvette. The Corvette had a 350. It was getting beaten by the V6. That was a no-no. It's also the reason why the 87 Trans Am, the Anniversary edition, was the only one to have the 3.8 turbo in it as well. A lot of people don't even realize that the Trans Am, the top of the line Trans Am from 87 had the 3.8 turbo in it.
Yeah, I remember those cars. The Indy car.
Mm-hmm. It was the 25th anniversary car.
Yeah, that looked pretty good there, Rob.
Or 20th anniversary car. Some anniversary.
Thank you.
Yeah, it would have been the 20th anniversary. But yeah, the Trans Am had it for 1 year, and the Grand Nationals from Buick had it for 2. And because Chevy threw a major fit that both Pontiac and Buick had a car that was faster than the Corvette.
Well, Corvette should have been used to it by now.
Well, that's why they had to tone down the engines. They put the when they reintroduced the Corvette. I mean, the Camaros, or not reintroduced, but back when they did that new body design. Remember when they in the early '90s? What was it, around '92 when they did that new body design, and people were saying that the Camaro looked like a giant Geostorm. Anyway, yeah. They put the same engine. They put the LT1 from the Corvette in the Trans Am and the Camaro SS, and then down-tuned them because both of those cars would have been faster than the Corvette if they didn't. Because the Corvette, even though it was only a two-seater, was a heavier car than both the Camaro and the Trans Am were. That's always been the major thing at GM. You cannot have a production GM car that is faster than the Corvette. They don't allow it.
Yeah, and go one step further on that.
Your volume's real low there, Pat.
Okay, sorry, had to switch audio again, but the little red Express from Dodge, that little short box Dodge pickup that they had, whooped the Corvette's ass for 2 years in a row.
Yeah, that little Red Express was like the fastest production vehicle of '78.
Oh hell, the Corvettes in '78 had no power because all the damn what was it? Emissions crap and everything from the Carter administration said they had to put on those cars. They had no power at all. I think they had 175 horses, if that.
Yeah, they had like a 185 horse motor. It was the same motor that was in everything.
Yeah.
But you could get an L82 that had like 220, 225. But yeah, it just had the basic 350 Chevy that would have been in everything.
Yeah.
So they were all the same motors, same head, same compression, same cams, and then they just, the truck might say it has, 190, the Vet might say 195, a Caprice might say 165. They were all the same engine.
Yeah, it was nice when you got into the 80s and they were allowed to start having power in the cars again. You get to the mid 80s and like, yeah, we're going to start. We got all this new technology. Let's make these cars faster again. Give them more power. Start getting them with 300 horses again. I'll tell you what, man, those going back to those 3.8 turbos. When I was in middle school, I think it was middle school, might have been 9th grade. Anyway, they did that. Hot Rod Magazine had that fastest muscle car of the year issue every year. The top 10. And they did there. It was based on a race that they had. I forget where. I think it was out in Kansas or somewhere or something. Anyway, one of the cars that was in the top 10 that year was a Buick Grand National with the 3.8 turbo. It had 600 and some horsepower. Those little 3.8 turbos, man, you could do some work on those and get those cars were, I think it was 6. It might have been more than 6. Anyway, it was in the top 10 in the fastest production street car. For that year, which that was before they had dual overhead cams and all this other crap that makes the cars have even more power now. That was just your basic push rod V6, you know what I mean? And yeah, that little 3.8 turbo, man, those things were wicked little engines.
Yeah, there were a few guys, Kenny Bell and others, that came out with some stuff for those Buicks. A turbo makes good power. You can leave basically a regular engine alone and do all turbo and just rely on that turbo for all your power. And they're successful just on a basic level. But those G-body Chevrolet or GM cars, those made good drag race cars, believe it or not. They got good traction, and the engine sits all the way back at the firewall. It looks like that big, long, heavy front end, but there's no weight there. And the engine is sitting behind the front center line of the wheels and the front suspension. So those cars transfer weight probably better than anything even made today. Those are not bad race cars at all. I mean, you don't get fooled that it looks big and heavy. It really functions well, those cars.
Yeah. I had an '84 Monte Carlo that had the 3.8 turbo out of a Grand National. And man, that car would fly. And I wish I still had that one. I still wish I had my damn '69 Camaro for that matter too. But, that Monte Carlo was nice.
Okay, now I'm done eating. I'll let you in on another little story. 1981 Monte Carlo, 3.8 Chevrolet, not the Buick motor, which totally sucked. I don't know what it was about those little 3.8 Chevrolet motors versus the Buick ones. But man, nothing but garbage. But took the 3.8 Chevy out of it and then put in a 355 fast burn crate motor in that old girl. And man, if you could get it to hook up all the way, I had 8s out back and 6s on the front. Man, when it would hook up, the whole front end would come up and that rear end would squat and just take off like a friggin' banshee.
Yeah, Rob sent me a picture. He needs help getting this truck. If anybody wants to help him, hold on a minute. Am I screen sharing? You guys see what I'm showing?
No, it's not working.
Screen sharing's not working either. Damn it.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, things are being stupid. But Rob, why don't you screen share it? See if it works for you. Is he in here?
I'm on the phone.
Yeah. Oh.
Not sure how to do that.
Yeah. See, I'm showing that I'm screen sharing, but you guys don't see it. Damn it. Like earlier, I couldn't turn my camera on either. You guys couldn't see.
It's not on YouTube either.
Yeah. Forward that. Damn it. There it is. God dang it, I closed that one. God, man. You just have one of those days.
Yep.
And you sent it to the wrong email again, Rob, by the way. Oh, man. Rob's always sending stuff to the wrong email on me.
Okay. Used to dirt track in the day about 5-6 years ago, finally retired. Had a plethora of Impalas from different years. 72, 76, 75, and a 79 fastback that I still have. It's in my garage, still complete. The 1 year that we had ran a big block 454, and it punched it out to a 468, and you could swap the rear end in it and put a Ford 9-inch underneath of it, run locked up rear ends, stuff, whatever you wanted to do, Bilstein shocks, whatever you wanted to do with the springs and stuff, and they called it the heavy car class. And there was about 4 other guys that had big blocks. There was some guys with some of the old Olds 455 and some of the Pontiac 455 HOs and some of the guys running Ford 460s. And man, that was a lot of fun hearing all those big blocks scream around.
Okay, I'm going to forward this to you, Kingpin, if you're paying attention. See if you can screen share it. Because last time I couldn't screen share, you could. So we'll send this to you. And see if you can put it up there. Because it is funny what Rob is wanting help buying. So I sent it to you, Kingpin. See if you can screen share it, the picture, because I can't. It's not letting me. Oh, everything's got quiet all of a sudden. Hello? Anybody get there?
Everybody's eating.
Apparently, it just got really quiet.
Yeah, we're still here. Got a second plate.
Hopefully, Kingpin's there. 'Cause Kingpin, woohoo! David, did you fall asleep?
No, I didn't. I'm trying to pull up that email.
Oh, okay. I don't know what it is, but it was working earlier because I was screen sharing and showing Jason something earlier, and it was working fine. Now it's not wanting to work. My camera's not wanting to work.
Yeah, it'd be great if you guys could show it. I mean, the roads are getting pretty bad around here.
Yeah, man. I would say more, but I don't want to give it away. But yeah, that was I got a chuckle out of that one when I saw it. Yeah, there we go. That's what Rob wants help buying, everybody. So if you got the money to help him out, you can put a gun up there in that little turret, and he'd be all set, man.
Man,
Get
that's
some ladder racks on that. I'll be good.
that's
Yeah.
too hard on gas, man.
Yeah, get some ladder racks and machine gun.
I don't know. You probably get about a mile and a half to the gallon.
Oh no, man! You can put one of those new 300 horse V6s in there that get like 30 miles to the gallon. Yeah, you'd be good.
Hey, that looks like it's got those tires that if they go flat, they can pump themselves back up.
Yeah, it might. It's an APC.
Yeah.
It's got the air adjusting tires on it,
Yeah.
depending on the terrain.
What you guys don't know is in the front, it's actually plugged into a charging station. It's all electric.
No.
Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
Yeah, you could probably get a 20 millimeter cannon in that turret. Now that I think about it, that would be sweet. 20 millimeter cannon in there. Hell yeah!
Just put a Chevy Duramax in it. You'll get a little better fuel mileage.
Well, no, man, you get one of those. Put the EcoBoost V6 out of a Ford Mustang in there. Yeah, you'd be all set.
Where was this parked at, Rob?
Unfortunately, not my driveway, but I seen it on the side of the road here in New York earlier today. Don't want to give exact location, but yeah, upstate New York.
Yeah, pickle not for traffic, man. Rob lives in New York. That's just for personal defense.
Yeah, it gets a little gamey out there sometimes, and nowadays you never know what's around the next corner.
Yeah, that would be nice to have in traffic, for sure. Maybe with some mortar tubes and stuff hanging out the side, and
Yeah, wasn't it the owner of YouTube that would go on tours of the country with an old scout car? Similar to that? Not that exact model, but similar to it.
Yeah, you guys buy it, fill it with gas, and I'll drive it to the DC rally.
Does it have a sticking price?
that would be epic.
Actually, I'll cover the gas. I mean, come on, get real, right?
Yeah, D-Temp say, no, just put a 7.62 Gatling gun in there. No, you need something that's going to make a big boom to scare people away.
Modus.
No. I was going to say something even better. 40 millimeter full auto grenade launcher.
I say let Snob paint it up like a snowflake. Remember how he did Obnoxious's upper and it almost looked like candy striped fruit gum. Man, he could do that up. You could like paint every lug nut a different color.
I'd say, there's room. We throw the MK19 up there, and we could put something else up there. At least a couple 30 cal, something.
Yeah, you could do a coax 30. Have the grenade launcher with a coax 30. That'll do the trick.
Plenty of ports on the side.
Yeah. Smoke launchers and stuff too. And for the paint job, the perfect paint job, the paint job you got to do on that, ice cream truck. Paint it to look like an ice cream truck.
Oh, the liberals would love that.
But then would you have to wear a sweet tooth mask?
Oh, hell yeah. Twisted Metal all the way, man.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking epic game.
Somebody got the reference.
I've got all of them.
I think it'd cut down on the attempted carjackings.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know, man. It's crazy. These people are. I mean, they're chasing the kid that's armed with an AR-15 and shooting at them. So, I mean.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I'd kind of like it if it had treads, but guess, tracks don't last that long, to be honest. The maintenance and stuff, probably better off as a personal daily driver to have the tires.
Yeah, that one's made more for speed than all terrain. That's the thing. Do you want speed or do you want to be able to go wherever? That's been the trade-off with military vehicles since they started having vehicles with engines in them, and the advent of the tank. Do you want treads or wheels? Treads, you can go more places. Wheels, you can get there faster.
Well, I would think a wheeled version with good enough tires on it would probably work for most urban situations, I would think. But, man, it's hard to beat tread.
Yeah, and you just don't get much mileage out of treads. And then, you got to keep in mind, I don't want people complaining because I'm tearing the street up, too. So,
and then you go 50 miles, you have to stop to get out and tighten the track up.
Well, and if I got pads on, then it's just going to tear it up even quicker.
Well, you could get one of those vehicles that was a hybrid. I don't know if you've seen those. They would have wheels on them for on road, and then off road they had tracks.
A moon buggy.
There was a couple of experimental tanks that had that system. I'm sorry, you were going to say something, Jason?
Yeah, the moon buggy. It's
Well,
battery power. It unfolds. You can take it places.
If you go over to the Chieftain's channel, he's done videos on some of these tanks, and they actually had like road wheels that would lower down, and the tank would lift up so that the wheels were making contact with the ground, and instead of the track on it. And then when you wanted to go off road with it, you would raise the road wheel back up, and you would drive on the tank treads or tracks, whichever words you want to use. I mean, the words, the same thing, track, same difference. But yeah. Yeah, Pickle says 8-wheel drive rather, striker with 120 millimeter cannon. Yeah, okay, Pickle, but I don't think any of us can afford one of those. Good Lord, man.
Well, again, if anybody out there just, getting tired of having too much money, doesn't know what to do with it, don't want to give it to the wife or kids, I'm more than happy to help you out and take that off, their hands. So,
yeah. But anti-tank striker, yeah, that would be an interesting vehicle. But I don't know if any of us can afford it. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, it's a little too rich for my pockets.
Yeah, you're probably you might be the one person in here besides me that even knows what that vehicle is.
And the maintenance, I can imagine it's not in the best shape. You know what I mean? But it's hard to say. So I didn't get to get inside of it. I thought about doing a little gag video with a Slim Jim standing next to it, but I figured, I might end up in jail. So I thought that would be a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe. But,
not that I have a Slim Jim. I meant a wire hanger.
Yeah. Or a crowbar. Crowbar might be a little bit handier.
Yeah, reaching tool.
You're trying to break into an armored vehicle. I don't know how well a coat hanger is going to work.
Well, that's a joke, but again, I don't feel like explaining that on the side of the road. But sheriff, state trooper, or local police officer or something.
Yeah, I think you would need a breaching tool at least.
Or the jaws of life.
Yeah, maybe that little hydraulic ram at Harbor Freight, maybe. Don't know, but maybe.
Yeah, if you're talking about that armored car that you were looking at, yeah, the armor on those isn't all that thick. Now, if you're talking a tank, of course, in Russia, they just leave tanks parked in fields with the keys in them. And no, that's not a joke. People have stolen tanks in Russia and took them for joyrides.
Yep. I saw one 2 weeks ago where there was an old Russian T-34 tank from World War II that some guy had restored and put out on his yard. Yeah, it doesn't take keys. Some guy hijacked it and, took it for a trip downtown.
It's retarded. He didn't disconnect anything just to leave it ready like that. That's crazy. That's crazy,
I'm talking about the Russian military does it, and they do have keys in them. They just leave the keys in the tank. The security protocol is they're supposed to take the keys out so somebody can't just walk off with it because Russia in the former Soviet Union did this too. They will just stage military vehicles anywhere. they're just batshit crazy, I guess.
It makes sense in some ways, not to have a key or something. You know what I mean? They should do something, but it kind of makes sense to stage equipment in different places. So,
and they'll stage the damn things. They won't have any ammo in it, so somebody can't take it. And at least they're smart enough to do that, right? They're not leaving 120 millimeter, projectiles in the damn thing. But they'll leave them in the middle of a field and they'll leave the keys in the ignition. There are multiple stories of people stealing these damn tanks and going up for joyrides with them.
All right, let's just say you were 15 and with your buddies, kicking cans and stumbled across a field and saw a nice tank sitting there with keys, we'll say, and is just saying, "Take me for a ride." What would you do?
All that tank would beat. I'd have my foot to the floor and we'd be going through a field somewhere, just raising all sorts of hell.
And with these newer tanks too, man, they don't have the steering vanes like some of the older tanks. They actually have like steering wheels and shit in them.
I'd be sending somebody to get a camera if you didn't have a cell phone.
Night vision is awesome in those tanks.
You ever sat in the driver's compartment of an Abrams?
Yes, actually I have.
That has got to be the most comfortable tanker seat I have ever sat in. And no, I wasn't a tanker, but I've sat in a few different tanks. I've sat in an M60 driver seat. I've sat in a Pershing's driver seat. I sat in a Sherman tanker seat, the driver's seat. I tell you what, man, that shirt, that Abrams, dude, This is the most comfortable seat I have ever been in a tank. That thing.
Shit, I was always jealous of tankers' boots. I don't know if you noticed them, but the tread on the bottom, it's like triangle wedges to lock into the flooring, but they look like some nice aggressive boots, man. I was always kind of jealous that I wasn't issued those, but I don't want to be a tanker. So, I don't even think I'm probably too tall technically, but that doesn't sound like fun either. That's not a job I'd want.
Yeah, but you remember the old Chase lounges that people would have in their living rooms back in the late 70s, early 80s, where it looked like a wave almost? That's what the seat in the Abrams tank, the driver's seat in the Abrams tank is. And it is very nicely padded. I fell asleep in one.
That's nuts.
It was the parade in Pittsburgh when I was in high school to walk the troops back from Desert Storm. After the parade, they were letting us junior ROTC and paid ROTC people look at vehicles and stuff that were in the parade, and we were allowed to climb down inside of them. I climbed down into the driver's hatch, sat there checking everything out. Next thing I know, I got an NCO up there whose tank it was. It was his tank. He was the tank commander of the tank, waving me with his hat, right? Like, fanning me with the hat. I look up. He's like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, you were asleep in my tank. Get out of there. like, oops. I literally fell asleep in the driver's seat of the Abrams. Like, I'm sorry, Sergeant. Oh,
well, isn't that supposed to be actually the smoothest riding tank ever made?
Yeah, one of them. Russia's got a pretty decent new tank that they just came out with. Was it the T-14, I think it is. They're supposed to be pretty decent too.
I got a question. You got any recommendations on a dry bag? And is there shit? Oh, you were Army, right, Rich?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, you probably wouldn't know. I was curious, like the Marine version. I'm wondering if there's any difference, if you would go one way or the other. So I had a friend asking my lady earlier today for some reason.
You probably know about as much on that as I do.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I know the Marines has like a air seal on it, so to my recollection, ours didn't. So I would assume, depending on what you're doing, that would probably be better. But I don't know. I would just figure I'd ask if you guys had an idea or not.
Yeah, whatever one the Marines are using probably would be better because they're, training for amphibious landings and stuff. That would be my guess. I would go with whatever the Marines are using. Maybe.
Now, yeah, you probably don't know, but other than state, issued gear, that's what he's looking for. But I did a quick search, had trouble finding. I just found, knockoff aftermarket gear. But I'd assume I'd go with issued myself. But what would you say?
Yeah. I mean, if you can get, I don't know if you're
Our surplus.
Yeah, are you able to access the exchanges?
I can. I try to avoid it like the plague, though.
Well, you can do it online, and you can get the current shit.
Okay. I never messed with it online.
Yeah, you can get the Naval Exchange or the Army Air Force Exchange. You can do. They have websites where you can order stuff from.
Cool. I screwed up pretty heavy today.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if that was all vets that had access to that or just retired and disabled, because they keep changing the rules on that shit. That's why I asked if you had access or not. I didn't know if you did or not. But yeah, what did you do?
Well, I went out and took some video footage of some walls, shooting some walls, and realized at basically the very end I forgot my iPro. So I know this is kind of against YouTube code of conduct or something, but I don't think it's a crime. I think I'm going to run with the videos anyway. Well, what's your guys' opinion?
So what? It shows you in the videos without wearing eye protection.
Correct.
Okay.
But that's a reshoot.
We'll forgive you.
Yeah, but don't put that online. That's a reshoot, man.
I'd have to build all these walls again and all this ammo. I mean, I personally don't care if somebody out there is like, "Oh, you're an idiot," and whatever. I mean, yeah, shit happens. So,
Well,
yeah,
you don't care.
But is it something where I can get flagged or have an issue?
I don't know if they would flag you or give you a strike or anything for it.
Yeah, I figured
You
I'd
probably
put a
have
disclaimer in there. Don't be a dumbass like me. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'd have a bunch of people in the comments giving you shit, but
yeah, I'm sure it'll happen. But I don't. Yeah, honestly, I don't really care. So I'm doing it for the results, not it ain't about me. So
yeah, you might have a few posts from Orange Man calling you an ass or something, but
I could live with it.
The worst you're going to get on that, Rob, is just showing a gun on YouTube, and that'll get you in trouble.
Well, no, you're allowed to show guns. You're just not allowed to show guns on live streams.
I think that day's coming, though.
Day may be coming. Who knows the way things are going? But yeah, as of now, basically, you can't be touching a gun on live or anything like that. So anything that's pre-recorded doesn't make a difference or whatever. So, or hasn't up to this point that I know. So, but I kind of hate to redo it. It states something positive, I guess you can state, for the fragmentation ammo.
My camera's still not working. Where's or do you actually see me breaking YouTube's rules right now?
It's blank.
It was blank.
So you don't see me breaking YouTube's rules. Darn. I haven't done
all we can see is black, so you're probably holding a Glock.
No.
I can mentally see you holding a firearm in a live stream.
Black rifle bad. Black rifle bad.
No. It was a cute little P265.
No, I saw it was something chunky and black.
A Hershey bar?
No. He said chunky and black. It was clearly a chunky bar.
A High Point.
God, did anybody actually like bars? I mean, come on, be honest. Did anybody here actually like the chunky bar?
I don't know what a chunky bar is.
Yeah,
I've heard. I've never had one before.
Oh my God, it's the nastiest thing.
They're expensive. You got raisins. You got everything in there, man.
It's like chocolate covered trail mix, man.
So how is that bad?
It just trail mix works.
Oh, you probably don't even like mac and cheese. You're one of them spies, aren't you?
No. I like trail mix. I'll eat trail mix that has chocolate chips in it. That chunky bar, they did something and just totally made it not work. I don't know.
That's like lunch in a wrapper.
Oh man.
What about Heath bars?
Like Heath bar. Like Heath bars.
Heath bar depends on how long it's been sitting on the shelf.
I love Heath bars. And Heath bar blizzards. Oh, yeah.
I had a friend
stick those in the freezer, and then when you pull them out and eat them, they just like break the dust when you take a bite out of them. Outstanding.
I had a friend break a tooth on a Heath bar. because it was how long it was sitting on the shelf. It was solid, like it would have been frozen, but not the good kind of solid. It just, he bit into that thing and the bar didn't break, his tooth did. You gotta be careful with them Heath bars, man. I'm not saying they're not good. You just gotta be careful.
Yeah. It might have been sitting on the shelf a minute.
Yeah.
Do you guys got a Dairy Queen? I mean, I just love Heath Bar Blizzards.
Oh, that's the bomb.
No, my favorite blizzard, the cheesecake blizzard. You guys had the strawberry cheese. It used to be the Royal Strawberry Cheesecake Blizzard. Now they got a different name for it, but it's the same damn thing. Those things are awesome. You get really big chunks of cheesecake in there with big chunks of strawberry and stuff. They're really good. I used to love the banana pudding blizzard, but they did away with those. You got big pieces of vanilla wafer in those and stuff.
I got an idea. What if I was just to say I was testing out bulletproof contacts?
Okay, go with that, Rob.
All right, cool. Nobody will know.
Nobody will know. Nobody watches this show anyway, so nobody will know.
Bulletproof what?
Contacts.
No.
he was testing out safety contact.
Yeah, safety is more believable.
No. You had clear safety glasses on. They're so clear you couldn't see them on camera. The whole thing, the frame, the arms, everything was just...
How'd you figure it out, man? That's great. I will say they got interesting results. So one of it was that new to me. I haven't seen it around. I know it's not new, but what is it? Center Fire, I think it's called. That fragmentation ammo that's out and about. I've seen it as the cheapest hollow points out there at this point. I got I think 20 in a pack for $15 or $16.99. So 100 grain, 9mm. It doesn't state how quick it's moving, but well, I don't want to say too much, but yeah, it was interesting.
Yep. Kingpin done accidentally kicked himself out, but he's got to go to get to bed anyway. So have a good night, Kingpin. Not the first time he's done that, where he's accidentally kicked himself out. Probably went to hit the mute and unmute and hit the red phone button in the middle instead.
Yeah, I did that myself a couple weeks ago when we were wild to show up. I went to unmute and hit the other button.
Yeah, I just noticed what time it is. I got to check to see. Nope, Midnight has not sent links out yet. Okay. Him saying "bawoosh" at the end of his post out there in the chat reminded me. He's like, "Oh crap, what time is it? It's 10:30. I better check to see if Midnight sent his links out." Nope, no likes from Midnight, so we can keep going.
You know, I thought tonight you'd be talking about that Kyle kid.
Yeah, they were doing enough of that on Scotland's show.
Everybody's talking about that.
And instead, we are talking about cars and putting guns on cars, and basically, we're designing our own twisted metal cars. Essentially, we're helping Rob get one anyway. We need to start a GoFundMe for Rob to get one of those armored cars.
Yeah, I think if anybody needs one, I think it's
thank you.
Rob.
Yeah, please and thank you. I don't ask for stuff like that. I don't have donations or whatever, but things are getting crazy. It is New York, when a lady goes to the store for dinner or this or that, it's nice not to have to worry about it. It would be nice.
G23 saying Midnight sent his links out. If he did, he didn't send me one, bastard. What the hell, Midnight?
Working.
All right.
I got one.
I don't read a link anymore. What the
Nah,
hell?
he don't like you, man.
What the hell, man? I'm gonna have to call him and chew him a new one. Good Lord, you bastard! Where the fuck, man? What's up with that midnight? Come on, man.
Easy. And nice, hell of a guy. He's probably busy. I'm sure he's trying to feed starving people and help little junior shooter there, and probably rubbing the lady's back and doing a show at the same time. Give him a break.
Yeah, I can't go. I'm probably not gonna be able to go on his show anyway. I'm beat. I don't think I've really had any sleep in 48 hours or more, which is probably why I'm acting like a complete total jackass right now. We saw the beginning of this show. Some of the people that were out there watching probably thought I was on meth at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, rich white guy. Can't do it.
Wait till I see that sumbitch again, man. Show him. Nah, they said I can't go on the show tonight anyway. I have got to get sleep, or at least try to. Yeah, I've even tried taking goddamn sleep aids and shit is not working. Part of it's my damn knee. You ever have a knee injury and you try and sleep? It's one of the worst things ever. You turn the wrong way, and next thing you know, you're like jumping out of bed because your damn leg hurts.
Do you drink alcohol, Rich?
That's what I was gonna say. Have you tried drinking once?
Doesn't work. Doesn't go over well with the meds they got me on, so that's not a good idea.
Mm-hmm. So no, when I've had trouble, pop up, like take a couple shots real quick, and shoot, I pass right out. I'm good to go.
I was thinking more of a relaxing evening. Go sit outside, camp or something, drink a few beers, and fall asleep in your chair.
Yeah, every once in a while, I might drink a Mike's Hard Lemonade, but that's about the extent of it because of the meds I was on. Just some of the meds don't.
Yeah, healthy bedroom exercises can make you pretty tired.
Yeah. Well, when you got kidney disease, that kind of fucks with your sleep habits too. So it's like I got double whammy. I got stage 3 kidney disease and a knee injury. So yes, I'm doing great when it comes to trying to sleep. So yeah, it's crazy, right? I'm like, my wife says I'm falling apart, and you know what? She's not wrong. I got a knee injury now. I got a bad knee that I've had forever because of being a stupid kid playing football and hockey back-to-back seasons. Football season in high school would end, go right into junior hockey season.
You got a cast iron frying pan?
Why? So I can smack myself in the head with it?
No, that'd be crazy. But if it really gets that bad, I'm sure the wife would love to.
That's pretty good, Rob.
No, I think my wife would rather hit you in the head with the frying pan sometimes, Rob.
Yeah, maybe.
She's like always asking me, why does he think I'm mad at him all the time? I don't know. You have to ask him that. Why are you asking me? He's like, why is he wanting to send me flowers? It's like, I don't know.
Maybe it's just the way it comes across on the mic, but sometimes I'm surprised you're alive. I mean, she seems to be going off over there, so I just assumed, she didn't like me. So maybe, like I said, it might just be the mic thing. So
yeah. I mean, there's a disconnect somewhere. Communication breakdown.
And if you ever sent me the address, I would have sent the flowers. But Rich is scared. He don't want me knowing where you live.
Shit. Just ask Kingpin. He'll give you my address. You might have to give him some Burger King napkins to bribe him first. Oh, come on, that was funny.
Yeah, I still think it'd be cool to pay somebody to put mayonnaise on his doorknob, like, over the course of a week or something, just to mess with him. You know what I mean? Leave a stack of napkins next to it, so he'll be happy. But
Smear his front porch steps with mayonnaise. Get one of those big containers at one of those bulk stores, like Costco or Sam's Club, and just like smear it all over his face.
Well, even if you like mayonnaise, that would probably kind of take you off.
Yeah, maybe. Kingpin would be like, "Oh, one of those sons of bitches, I'm gonna get them."
Yep.
Which one of them was in Baltimore today? Maybe we can pay RL to do it. He goes to Baltimore.
All right, car door handle on the inside. So when he's hustling to work in the morning, he goes down and pulls on his car door, and it slips out of his hand, and he's got the white mayonnaise on him. You'd have a meltdown.
Yeah, we got to get a hold of RL and get him to do it because he makes deliveries to Baltimore. And you know damn well Black Cat would do it.
I don't know, man. Kingpin's pretty crafty himself, man. He might spot it from a mile away. He might not.
Yeah, Black Cat would probably be laughing so
mayonnaise
hard.
madness. Yeah, I don't see him falling for the mayonnaise madness, man. He spot that shit. You have to try harder than that with him.
What were you gonna say about Black Cat laughing, Rob?
I was just saying, I don't know if Black Cat would get it done because he'd probably be laughing so damn hard that Kingpin would be like, "What's that?" Look out the window.
That sounds like a black cat laughing. It is.
I know that laugh.
A big fat black cat.
I've messed with a couple of friends from work where you tie like soda cans and hook it to the back of their car, and Friday everybody's clocking out, ready to roll, hop in their car, and it starts dingling, ding-a-ling-ling all down the street. It's hilarious, pretty funny. And you drive by and just wave and smile. Good times.
Good, dude. We're yawning my head off now. I guess we can start wrapping this up. So, Jason, you got anything you want to plug? I mean, you just put out a new video or something, didn't you?
Yep. I did my response from you, the VR for if I could only have one gun. I got that done today. And Thursday, I'll probably do another chat. Been calling him Thursday with Jay. So that's like 8 o'clock on Thursday with me. And we'll probably talk about some stuff.
Stuff and things.
Yeah.
Things and stuff.
Stuff and things, things and stuff. Stuff and things. Whatever.
Okie dokie.
You're going to be
Thanks
stuffing
for
it
having me, Rich.
Yep. All right. What about you, Pat?
Well, I just wanted to say thanks for having me on. Thanks for letting me tell my story tonight, and everybody kind of weighing in and just trying to get a kind of feel for, how that went down and everything. So, but no, just glad to be on tonight. Good conversation. We went from a meth head to possessed cars to tanks to practical jokes. So, yeah, good show tonight.
Yeah. You don't know what we're going to talk about. Good Lord. Yeah. So, what about you, Rob?
Got some reckless testing video coming out shortly here. So if you're interested, do I still have eyes? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. How'd the fragmentation ammo play out? You'll have to check it out. Other than that, thanks for having me. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, not a problem. And with that, we will say goodnight and go over and watch. I don't know. Should I even tell you to go watch them since the bastard didn't send me a link? But yeah, I guess you can go watch Midnight if you really have to, or you really want to. I mean, it's up to you. I'm not gonna force you, but you know, it's something you can do, I guess. So, and bye bye. See you next week and all that jazz.
Go watch Bawoosh.
This is where you get your.
Stay safe. Carry your weapon.
Stay safe, everybody.
And we'll see you on down the. We'll see you on the range.
See you on the range. See you next time.
Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on down the trail.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, that was pretty good, actually.
But yeah.
Don't piss in the wind.
I did not steal that from Steven Sheets. Steven Sheets stole that from Santee over on Arizona Ghost Riders channel. So yeah, there's a channel for you guys to go watch. By the way, if you haven't looked at it yet, go over and watch Arizona Ghost Riders. Santee does some good Wild West videos and stuff. So it's a cool channel. Go check it out. They're short little 5-minute videos usually. Puts one out every Saturday morning. So go over and check them out. And
Been watching them ever since you promoted them for that live stream deal that they did. I went to one of those out in Arizona back when I was like 20 or 21. I don't think it was that place, but it was another place. And I always thought those kind of Wild West reenactment deals were kind of cool. So kind of got me reconnected to that. So yeah, I was definitely cool to watch.
cool. Where'd I put that damn button? There it is.